thrilled today to introduce Pro Football Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champion Jerome Bettis, who is one of the best all-time running backs in the NFL. The Bus finished his NFL career in January 2006 after 13 seasons, retiring immediately following the Pittsburgh Steelers' 21-10 win over the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 40 in his hometown of Detroit. Currently, Jerome serves as a studio analyst for ESPN on their main shows SportsCenter and NFL Live. He's also one of the most sought-after corporate spokesmen for some of the largest Fortune 500 companies in this country. We thank Jerome for joining us at Koppers today for this important discussion on building our success through inclusion and diversity. At this time, I'll turn it over to Lance Hyde, our Director of Global Inclusion and Diversity, who will be moderating our fireside chat with Jerome.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Stephanie. I can tell you right now, I feel like an outlier already, Leroy. It seems like this is a Notre Dame Fighting Irish party, but anyway, we'll go on. Anyway, I want to welcome all of our team members here. It's great to have you all. Thank you, Jerome, for joining us on a very important discussion today. And I'm off to all of our team members. I'm really glad you're able to join today, too, for us to discuss a very important topic on building on our continued success here in our organization through inclusion and diversity. But before we begin, I want to recognize a number of individuals from our team for making this event possible. I'd like to thank you, Leroy, for your continued leadership in inclusion and diversity and your strong stand against the racial injustice that have occurred. I also thank the entire leadership team and Ann Begler for not only underscoring the importance of inclusion and diversity within our organization, but encouraging your teams to support this event and making special arrangements for a number of our individuals and our team members from throughout different plans to be able to join this particular event as well.
We're absolutely open and trying our best to create a different environment here. So what I can do is lead us down the path of making the change for today and tomorrow. And that's what we're hoping to do. And hopefully you can take that away from today's session.
So the question I have for you is, you talked about coming from the streets to Detroit. You know me, I come from the East Oakland streets. Lost a lot of different people on the streets coming up. For us growing up, trust is not something that we just had. We were indoctrinated not to trust as our means to survive. So what advice would you give our team members who might have come up in a similar environment to you and me, who now have to transition that mindset of not trusting as a way to survive to now having to trust in order to be successful here at Koppers?
Everybody, has to buy in to the team concept, and that everyone is just as important as everyone else, but you have to trust that they're going to do their role so you can do your role. And it's all faith. And you see the results as you see the company have success, and then it's reiterated in everything that's done. So it's critically important to any company's well-being, and the individuals have to then buy in to the philosophy and the understanding and the company's goal ultimately for them to have faith and trust their teammates.
As we're a team comprised of a number of different individuals from different backgrounds, different religions, different countries, ethnicities, why should what's taking place be important to us here at Koppers?
Well, I think it's one and the same answer. But before I say that, I want to commend you, Leroy, for your stance and what you have stood for and your messaging, because it is not an easy situation as a leader of an organization to take the initiative to make that statement, because not all people are going to feel that way. So I thank you as an African-American male. I appreciate that, and I say thank you. Now, everyone's willing to have this very difficult conversation about race, but it's a conversation that needs to be had, and we're starting to talk, and people are actually listening, which is the best thing that could have ever come of the situation, that people are listening, they understand what the issues are, and want to see a better country, I think, as we all do.
One of the challenges that many companies have, particularly in this region, is being able to recruit and retain minority talent. And I wanted to ask you, why do you believe that is so important to proactively hire and retain diverse talent within your companies?
So there's two pieces of that. There's the recruiting, and then there's the maintaining and keeping the talent there. In the recruiting process, I think it's important because you get a different perspective from different people. Whenever you hire different people and they have an ability to look at the company, look at the business, look at the issues from a different lens. That's one part of the process. The retaining part is creating an environment that's conducive to all people, to everyone. And if you can do that, then that's when everyone wants to be there. And when you have an environment where everyone wants to be there, everyone is buying into the philosophy, then the success will happen because everyone is vested and everyone feels ownership in the process. And once you have everyone feeling ownership in the process, then everyone is trying to get to that same goal and attain the success ultimately, because when the company has success, everyone has success.
Would you also agree that's really important to understand for managers, to understand that everyone they have on their team is different? You know, everyone comes from a different background, may have a different perspective.
You have to find the common ground as a leader, as a manager. You have to take the initiative to find the common ground between you and your subordinate. If you can find that common ground, that place where you both can stand on equally and effectively, then the respect level becomes very crystal clear, and then the trust is there.
How would you influence people on your team to try to take a better view?
You know, things are not going to happen overnight. I think, but the conversation has to start. And I think when you start that conversation with the managers, with the people that are in your environment, I think then that allows itself to grow. It's not an easy proposition. Obviously, it is a difficult one because the size of the company is so big. The directive is what it is from your leadership. When you look at actions, I think that's what gives you the hope and the belief that a company is on the right track. When you have a discussion like this, when you have the CEO on the discussion, when you have this role, Lance, that you're in, being in your responsibilities widening, then you start to see that the commitment is there. From the top down. And when the commitment is there, then you happen to see the change. And so it starts with a commitment and then the change comes. But I understand everyone has to be diligent in keeping with this conversation because it takes everyone for this to happen and for things to change. So don't think that, I've done enough or I've said enough. This has been going on for 30 years. You have to continue on with the conversation because you see leadership is trying to do the right thing, and everyone has to be part of the solution. Again, I say everyone has to be part of the solution.
So, just want to say good day from Australia, Jerome. And thanks very much for your messages today, especially about success, because that's so important to us. And I'm sure it will help Koppers continue with our success.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this discussion with Koppers. Leroy, thank you for your continued commitment to this issue, but to this company. And moving this company forward because it takes strong leadership to allow this conversation to happen, but more importantly, to move the needle in terms of how internally the company will operate going forward. So thank you and your leadership team for all that you guys are doing. It means a lot to myself. But as you hear, the employees all over the country see it, and I'm sure they appreciate it as well. So thank you.